Good morning. Welcome to the May 23rd Finance Committee meeting. Mr. Chair, will you call us to order?
I would. I'd like to call the meeting of the Finance Committee of May 23rd to order at 10:30 this morning. If we could we take a roll call?
Certainly. Chair Corcoran.
Here.
Director DeMarquis.
In person.
Director Zarowski.
I'm here.
And I note for the record that Director Krasansky cannot join us today. We have a quorum.
Great. Thank you, Madam Secretary. And everyone, thank you for joining today. If we could, I would like to have an approval of the draft minutes from our January 18th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you very
Second.
much. Great. Thank you, Adam. And is there any discussion? All right, there being none, all in favor of approval of the minutes? Aye.
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 Any opposed? There being none, it carries. Our first item of business today is the authorization request for the issuance of New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation State Clean Water and Drinking Water Revolving Fund Revenue Bonds as Series 2024B. We're going to get a presentation from Emily Jamison and Kevin Boomhauer. And if I could, I would like to make a motion to approve and then have the discussion of the item and then call for a vote. Is there a motion to approve?
That's my side. I'll make that motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second, why not?
Thank you.
Yeah, they're gonna be busy.
And with that, we'll go into the discussion and the presentation. And so thank you, Emily and Kevin.
Thank you. So we are looking for authorization for 254.5 million. This would be our Series 2024B, which would be refunding Series 2014B. The proposed timeline would be to price the week of August 19th and potentially close September 11th. This would be a full refunding series. There would not be any new money in this series. Timing wise, we are feeling that it's beneficial with the current market conditions to do the refunding now. And then at the same time, we'd like to move out the new money portion to sort of the February-March time period. This will smooth out the workload at EFC and give us more time to start preparing for the next pool. In addition, I just want to highlight that we will be leveraging the equity portion by switching from the blend rate model to the committed subsidy model. So I will hand it off to Kevin now, who will give you some other features of the sale.
Thank you. So as Emily said, this is 24B. We will be issuing this under our senior indenture for the 2010 MFI. This will be an entirely bond-funded issuance with a committed subsidy model, which means that the subsidy will be paid from existing EFC funds. As Emily said, this is due to we're taking advantage of the current market conditions. Subsidy levels remain the same as 50% for the clean water, as well as 33 1/3 for the drinking water recipients. In this refunding, we have 40 recipients with approximately 80 projects. These bonds are expected to be issued as green bonds, which is kind of fascinating because we're actually refunding our first green bond series ever. So we're refunding green bonds into green bonds. This issuance will also estimated will save these recipients about $13 million. Throughout all of this, we're expecting a AAA rating with a debt service coverage ratio of 1.26 times. As far as the 2010 MFI coverage, or I'm sorry, credit, the indenture is very strong. Currently, 86% of the recipients are rated single A or better. And of the entire 2010 MFI indenture, more than 50% of the recipients are rated AA.
So the little chart that we have on page 6,
Yep.
that's what we have now, but they're all going to single A or better?
Yes, the little chart there, yeah, of those, 50% of the recipients, so, that 256, 50% of those are, double A or better.
By principal amount.
Oh, by principal
Yeah,
amount,
yeah.
okay,
I
thank
apologize.
you, no problem, don't apologize.
And I just, one thing from what Emily said is that we're pushing out the new money to the beginning of next year,
That's correct.
that won't negatively impact any of our, recipients, any of the folks, because, we'll just stay in short term and continue in short term and. no
Because
I
problem.
was gonna say on that one, Maureen, is there any, maybe Emily, you should speak to it. That makes sense from a workload perspective. Is there any financial consequences either way, you think, to that splitting of the two?
It could, it's probably a positive to the existing short-term recipients because most of them can stay in a 0% a little longer. We may capture additional recipients as well by
Right.
catching up with project completion, things like that. So it might make the pool a little bigger.
And it's always, you never know what the rates will be, now versus then, but it's always when we go long term, so moving that.
Yeah, no, not to get too macro. I had in mind certain, events
Yes.
that may be affecting market rates over the next, one way or another, over the next
Right,
6 to 8 months, right? So that was the question.
right.
Have you guys thought that through and made a, I guess, considered judgment around that it's, you think it's on balance, good on the financial side?
Right.
It is undoubtedly good for the recipients because they're remaining in a 0% a bit longer.
It's a tail period, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody ever really screams to go long term.
Well, and that's why.
Fair enough.
Keep it short term as long as you can,
Yeah.
but.
It'll also help us, as we're trying to switch to long-term, we're trying to navigate not having proceeds that are unspent. And so functionally, we're getting off from the cycle of all the awards get announced in the fall. So trying to have folks get announced their grant awards and be putting together a pool deal at the same time is kind of challenging. So by getting it off cycle, we think we'll have a better ability to dial into the right amount of bonds to issue.
That's great. That's great. There any other questions? Staying on the theme of green, green bonds into green bonds, saving our recipients big green. So that's great, really great. And Emily and Kevin, thank you very much. And can you hear me all right?
Yes.
So
Yes, and your
again,
jokes are evergreen, Francis.
why, thank you. Again, there was a motion and a second for us to approve and recommend to the full committee the proposed issuance and acceptance to the board upon presentation as ID number 1 in today's board meeting. Again, there was a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, there being none, all in favor of making the motion to recommend to the board? Aye. All right, any opposed? Okay, great, it passes. And Kevin and Emily, thank you so very much for the presentation on that. And it's great, we're saving so much money. And if there is no further business, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
And the second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right then, thank you all, we are adjourned.